Okay. All right, so again, centering our equity framework. Okay, again, in Spanish and Mandarin, because those are the languages that we instruct in this district. And our strategic framework as well, which in our school district, we have been working on for the last over a year and a half. District-wide goal, collaboration in the disciplinary literacy is what we center our work around as well. Okay, just to remind you of the timeline, we've added some information to this timeline. So we are down at, since the last time we met, we had the health interest survey, so see how many students would take health in Spanish. And getting that information to make a decision about posting positions that were open, as well as the seal of biliteracy presentation last Monday, and then today, our work group follow-up. Upcoming March 22nd, we have another student advisory plus with Ms. Venegas, as well as April 11th, we are going to be talking about 12th grade and capstone experiences for the 12th grade. In May, we will then visit, start talking about middle school, because there have been several questions coming up about middle school as well. Okay, so again, reminding you the purpose of this work group is for the refinement and implementation of the TWI program, specifically at the secondary level, and it would align to with our goals, our equity framework, the available resources we have, and then best practices in multilingual education. And you might see some of the posters around the room. We will take some time to look at the responses of not only this group, but also families that were not able to be here, students that were not able to be here, just to kind of use all this information to think about what is in the best interest of the entire TWI community. Again, using the feedback, this is our objective, to determine potential options to consider for our secondary TWI programming in alignment with the DPI guidance and requirements. Okay, what we'll do today is first, welcoming everyone here and give you some updates since the last time that we met together. We're going to do our gallery walk and walk around and look at all of our different posters and information on the walls. Input from programming requirements at the high school that you will be providing to us, and then the closing. Updates since the last time we met. On March 4th, we had a presentation about the seal of biliteracy to the Board of Education. The other thing that has happened is we have a position open up, I think, for PE and health at Verona Area High School. That is requiring that the person hired be bilingual certified. So that will serve dual purpose. That person would be providing a health class to our TWI families or TWI students in Spanish, as well as to any student that may need that service in Spanish, especially our newcomers or heritage speakers. Also, we have been in contact with a former TWI teacher, Mr. Orozco. Sure you know who he is. He has requested and has applied for summer school. It is in the works. It's not finalized yet because we do have to look at the proposed course that he's proposing, review everything and go through that process. So we will be giving you that update about a potential addition to summer school. The course that he has proposed is Spanish for journalism and expository communication. Journalism, not only in the written form, but also in videos, blogs, vines, I think they're like very short videos. Is he still in the area? He's an instructor at UW in the education department. So we keep telling him, please get us more writing teachers. And he's trying, so.
So Brooklyn, is that a new class that has not been offered before at, because I was unaware of it, so that's brand new.
That is brand new, based on his certification and bilingual, that would count as one of our key courses.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
For the PE health position, if you have an internal staff person who is willing to teach that, but might not have their bilingual certification, is the district able to work with them and collaborate to get that certification instead of saying, you go take care of that and then we'll talk to you?
We have had several individuals who need the bilingual add-on, and we've been in contact with, we have a partnership with Edgewood College. And depending on how much coursework they need, if they already have an ESL certification, it's a shorter process. If they don't have that ESL certification first, because that's required, any teacher who is bilingual certified, that's something new, since like 10, 15 years ago. So it's basically the same license, except for the one course and the capstone, the languages abilities. So UW also, we've been communicating with them. They have one course for people who have the ESL add-on already, or the ESL licensor. So it depends on the situation, the person's situation.
Can I ask you to clarify again, just before we keep moving on, what the requirements are for, what do you call it, your, standard courses like science, like biology, math, whatever, what the requirements are for those bilingual teachers versus the requirements for elective courses, bilingual elective teachers to teach elective courses? Because, correct, I may be misunderstanding, but if they're elective courses, my understanding was there were different requirements than if they're standard courses like biology or math or social studies.
At the high school level, and I am going to speak only from my experience without having our HR person, is that okay? That's not clear.
It's just, I think it's important for the discussion, because we're gonna be discussing what we propose as subjects and stuff, that we understand the differences, right? Like, if we're gonna propose an AP class, or if we're gonna propose an elective, or, maybe like, I don't know what to call it, we're gonna mainstream study, a content course, thank you. That we understand what those requirements are, because you might have more leeway with an elective or private.
Yeah.
You may or may not, I don't know, but I think it's important to understand what those requirements are, so that we understand what your limitations may be.
So requirements at the high school level, you must be licensed in the content area.
Licensed in the content area, plus certified in the bilingual language.
If you're going to be teaching TWI, bilingual.
Perfect. And you also mentioned AP in there, that also has to be, the course that's not already here has to be approved by the college board as well, so they're.
So an AP content license plus bilingual plus approved
By the college boards.
by the college courses. But then an elective could be just a bilingual certification.
And content.
And
Everything in the high school must be a content license.
content license.
Yes.
So if I'm an art teacher and I want to offer an art class bilingually, I have to be certified in art education grades 412 or 612. In addition to that, I have to be ESL certified and bilingual certified, because the bilingual is the add-on to the ESL. So basically anybody who in the state of Wisconsin who has a bilingual license has to do the content, and the content could be ESL K-12, but that only allows you to teach ESL as a standalone course, not counting as, like, for example, English credit. If I had one count as an English credit, I have to be also English certified.
Right, but I mean, it's like if I wanted to teach decorated cookies,
I have to be, yeah, it is, that's second at the high school level, any course you teach, you have to be licensed in that content area.
Oh, like UW, if you're studying for your secondary, if you're gonna be a secondary teacher at UW, they're required to get ESL license along with that. So then really, if they graduate from UW, I think you get the relevant bicultural.
Yeah, it's, Although I learned today that some of the majors in education, secondary education at UW does not require.
Education, all the education.
Yeah. All right, so just an update, the question that we asked the students, this was one of the questions we asked. If we offer the health class in Spanish during the school year, would you be willing to take that course in Spanish? And it would count as one of the 2 courses required for TWI. More than half of the students, so we had 43 responses, 24 said yes. So it would be, yes.
For clarification, this was just the sophomore class.
This was just the sophomore class, yes, so that's why it's not all 122, because most students are,
I don't know if it was poor response or small sample.
no, small space. Yeah. So it, because students are encouraged to take health during their junior year, that's the reason why we only have. Okay. Some of them did say no, other ones said not sure, and then 10 said that they were hoping to take that course during summer, so they would not take it during the school year. Okay. So what we are going to do is we're going to do a gallery walk. The purpose is that we want to ground, oh, yes, go ahead.
Wait, there was also a question on the survey that we got about like whether we'd be willing to take health and Spanish as a summer school class. What did you get for that?
Well, I can look. We did get some responses of students that wanted to take that. The need that we have is, it really depends on whether or not we have a teacher to teach it.
Okay.
So, and I can tell you that right now.
So Taylor, you're saying that's a separate question from, separate from the first
Mhm.
one.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's several questions on.
Yes, if anybody wanted to take it during,
But more than that one.
Okay, so the answers you showed were for the name, the first one.
the first one,
Will you take them?
will you take health during the school year? And the reason I posted that one was because we have a posting for a PE health teacher who is bilingual certified for next school year. Don't know if we would have, we don't want to promise if we don't have somebody who can teach it during the summer. So that's,
But they could also take it somewhere after junior, right? I know they were they were forced to put it under schedule, but there are people who take it between junior and senior year.
yes.
So if the person came on board in the fall, for example, and someone said, I only want to take it in the summer, it could be an offering next summer. You're saying you're not sure if it would be an offering
This summer, right? It would really depend on whether or not the person, because summer school is optional, whether or not they would want to teach during the summer. When we contract our teachers, it's during August through June. So it would really depend on whether or not the individual would be willing to. We had 26, so it was over, yes, 65% that said that they would be, they would prefer to take it during the summer. 10 were not sure, and then 4 said no. So that was the result. So pretty close numbers. So 24 said yes, and then 26 said yes to summer. It could be the same. I didn't look at individual names. It could be the same students as well. Okay. So the purpose of our data review is to ground in the voices and experience of students and families in TWI to best inform planning moving forward, particularly the secondary requirements. So the data sets we have the posters from the last meeting, which are handwritten by you. I did group them in the different themes that we had, we studied last time. Then we also have some that are family phone calls and then student advisory, the different post-it notes that were collected during the student advisory. Ms. Venegas did organize those for us, and then I summarized them because we didn't want to, responses sometimes can point to a certain individual. We didn't want to do that, so it's all in summary form. Okay. We will have about 10 minutes to do our gallery walk, and what we would like you to do, and you have some post-it notes if you wanted to take notes, otherwise you can kind of keep it in the top of mind, is think about one connection you saw in the data, one connection that you made to the data that you're seeing, and then one perspective or experience that might be different than your own. And I know the last time we had a question about why are we
digging so deep into data, and like I said earlier, we really want to honor the voices that are not here. For whatever reason, they were not able to come, or they have other obligations, but we did reach out to families, different, families in our TWI community, and as well as the students, and asked for their input, which are on those long lists of summarized points.
Okay, and then after that, I'll tell you after about 10 minutes, when that time is up, if you could come to your table group and share that information, one connection you made, and then one perspective or experience that's different than your own. Okay, so I will set a timer. Let me go and walk around the room.
At some point, will we be able to put data that shows for our inaugural class, how many kids started in TWI?
Hmm,
And each year, the attrition rate
Attrition?
for what we're at now compared to when we started?
I can,
Yeah, I can look. Yep,
Thank you.
thank you. That's a great question. I can look.
For the inaugural class, and what are the data for TWI when we started, and then the attrition, or